Okay, so these next series of videos that I'm going to be posting here are actually to answer some of the questions I noticed in the discussion board posts about some of the things that some of you are struggling with and would like to see a little bit more information about. Now, I haven't done every single one, but I'm trying to get the ones that were the most common ones that I noticed, as well as the ones that would be the easiest for me to create videos for. So I had one group of people that were interested in knowing more just general about how Apporto works and everything. So I've come in here. Well, first let me go back to the tab of, the let me in, and then we have the virtual labs here. And then we've got Apporto here. And again, really the only option for us here for Indiana Tech is in the App Store. I mean, there's those other tabs. Honestly have no idea what they are, but this is really our only option, is to launch our engineering desktop. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that here. And so the engineering desktop has been loaded in here. So let's just go ahead and take a gander around here on it. So, the network indicator is, of course, talking to you about what your network connection's like. So basically, how well you're connecting to the server and everything. It doesn't really have um, anything else. Apparently, these settings I've again never used, but there's a microphone and enable. But let's go ahead and first do the File Explorer down here. So if I click on it, most of you are probably familiar with this, but this is where, if you go to this PC, you'll notice that the C drive is not visible, and that's because they've locked out a lot of the C drive. Now, there are some exceptions, like you can save things under documents, and I even have like a Cadence folder under documents and a MATLAB folder under documents. But what that really is doing is that's just linking to the U drive. So that's why I end up just using the U drive one as well, because if I go to the documents here, you can look at the timestamp 9/24/2021, and here 9/24/2021. Now, that does bring up a second thing that we can put up here, is if you're having problems getting that path name to work, is that gives us another option for a path name for our footprint and pad stack directory. I'll show that to you in a little bit here. So this is some stuff that over here, things that I've done that I really should be deleting, you know, but no, actually, this isn't stuff I should be deleting. These are recent directories I've gone to. And so, for instance, I manually typed in the location, and this is showing all of the built-in footprints. Now, if you manually type in the location, still might not have access to it. That would be the difference between an instructor account and a student account. But that's not really the big thing here. The big thing here is knowing that the documents, whatever you put in here, is really just going right to the U drive. Okay. Then let's just look at what we've got here. There's tons of programs here. Basically, what we've tried to do is install every engineering program that you'll see on the computers in the building. Now, not every single one is installed in every single room, but they are mostly here. And so you can see you've got MATLAB. If you're on EGR 1500, you'd be using that. We've got AutoCAD 2019. If you're in EGR 1710, you'd be using that. We have NX. That is for like 3D modeling. So if after EGR 1710, some people would do 3D modeling, that's really for like doing 3D printing. There's Minitab Statistics. That's again for statistical methods. There's this Automation Studio. I actually don't know anything about this. Some of these things I don't know anything about the software, like ProModel. I know it's used in IME, but I don't know anything about it. But again, for us, all of the programs we're going to look in here are mostly in this OrCAD and Allegro directory. So if I go to that again, we can go to the OrCAD Capture CIS. You can even see the PCB editor. That's actually the same link as if you were to go to the Allegro products and go to the PCB editor. Same thing, that this Capture CIS is the same link as this link is here. Now, one thing that is often, in my opinion, a good way to get shortcuts, and I use this even on my own computer and then also on computers on campus, is I don't necessarily remember where things are and what directories, but I know the beginnings of the names of the software I like to use. So if you hit just this start menu here, and I'm just going to left click it once here, and this came up because a lot of people had problems finding the pad stack editor, and I maybe should have made this a little bit clearer, but if I just hit that start button, now I've just clicked it once with my left mouse button, done nothing else. Now I'm at my keyboard and I'm going to just literally start typing in, and I'm going to do PAD, and then you can see pad stack editor, and actually when I think I had just a single P, it came up with PCB editor. And I can do the same thing, like I could do CAP, Capture CIS Lite, but that's not what we want. Oh, Capture CIS though is there. Similarly, we're not going to use the program, but like if I start typing in MATLAB. Now first you actually have to do the full command here, because MATLAB proxy is not the program. The program's MATLAB here. So that's honestly how I start most of my programs, as opposed to going through the directory structure here on the desktop. So let's go ahead and also look here at the top here. So I've actually never clicked on the analytics, so I'm just curious what it has here. Well, it shows nothing. So my activity level, my total time, showing absolutely nothing. So that's interesting. This is to share a screen. This is, again, I've never done this. Collaborate, sharing your link to your desktop. So this would be interesting. View only, view and draw. I've never tried that. That'd be something interesting to play with. This next one, save and restore snapshots. But the two that I mainly use here are this upload and download here. So file download, that's going to take something from Apporto and put it on your computer. Now, one thing that had come up as a discussion as a way to get files that are in the computers in the labs into Apporto and storing them on hard drives, things like that. Here's a suggestion I have for everyone. First off, you should have access to that lab now after hours. If you do not, please let me know, but I sent a request in that everyone who's registered in ECE 1000 should have swipe access to Z211, which is the lab for electrical engineers. So everyone in theory should have access, so you should be able to go in the weekends or in the evenings and swipe in to the room and use the computers in the room. If you go and you still can't swipe in, please let me know and I will check on the IT ticket, but from my understanding it's been completed, so you should be able to get into those. Now, let's talk about transferring files all over the place, because I've made recommendations like, okay, well, saving it on your student drive, things like that. Well, maybe what the best thing should be here and is actually using a USB drive. If you use a USB drive, you can actually, on the computers in the lab, map one of the directories to a USB drive as far as when you're mapping the pad stack. Why don't I actually just launch OrCAD, because I'm going to be looking at this essentially in a second anyway. Give it time to fire up here. So you could use a USB drive, store all your things on a USB drive, and then use that in the path names when you're using your computer in the lab. So I could do that using my, like, for instance, desktop computer here at home. Or you can use the student drive. But then, as some people have discovered, and I thought you guys had access, if you save it on your student drive and then you're trying to then access it from a computer off campus, or you're trying to come in the evening and the thing's locked and you want to use Apporto, you don't have access to it. So again, use a USB drive and then just simply have the USB drive be in the path name for where your pad stacks are. Now, when you're using it for Apporto, you have no option but to upload those files. So we have to use this upload and download option here. So again, this file upload, this is uploading to the cloud because Apporto lives in the cloud. And so we do file upload. And of course, we can pick any file that we want to do as far as an upload. But the issue is you can only ever do one file at a time. And so I'm just going to select this file. I might try and select two files, or actually I might be mistaken. I was able to upload two files at the same time. Maybe it's that I can only download one at a time. That's what it is. You can upload multiple files at the same time. So let's do that again here. File upload. Instead of doing footprints, I'm going to go to my OneDrive, Cadence. I'm going to go to pad stacks, and I'm going to upload 3 pad stacks here. And then we'll see it's kind of over where my face is here. Okay, those 3 pad stacks have been uploaded. And you can see they're right here. And again, if I want it so, I'm going to select this just to get it launched here. If I want it so I could use these in one of my programs here, let me minimize this again. I would want to move these. So I'm going to open my file directory again. Now I'm just going to go to Documents here and go to Cadence. Since I know that links to the U drive, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to do pad stacks. And then I'm going to right click and then I'm going to say move here. And then I have footprints, and I'll just go ahead and move the footprints in there as well. So I'm moving them because I want Cadence to be able to look at the directory. So then if I were done here with this and I wanted to, well, first off, if I'm done, let me show you this. If you're done with a homework assignment, you don't have to download these. You can just go to Blackboard. Seems a little weird to do it this way, blackboard.indianatech.edu. Yeah, okay. Log in here. Don't remember my password. And then I could go to one of my classes, and then here, let me full size this thing here. And then, for instance, I could go to week 7. If I was doing this, go to the assignment, browse local files, go to documents, go to Cadence and pad stacks, and then I could just say I need to upload all those files as attachments, and then I can submit my work like that. So I can actually, it seems a little weird because I'm opening a browser within a virtual desktop, but it actually can be a convenient way if you're doing all of your homework on this thing. And then of course you could go down the bottom here and hit your submit. Mine's just, I think, got what's hidden by my face. Oh, it's hidden by the downloads here. So submit, cancel, save as a draft. I'm not going to submit it because I'm not taking the class as a student anyway. All right, so that's kind of a slick way to turn things in. The other option would be, of course, if you're not done working on it, is to do a file download. And, again, we have to go to the desktop, but you can only select one file at a time to download. You can't download multiple files. So that can be annoying if there's like 20 files you have to download. Well, another trick you can do instead of having to download individual files, so let's see here. Well, let me pause here for a second. I just needed to make sure there weren't any kind of confidential or student emails that would be showing up right here. So I could send a new email. I'm going to pop this out just so that I can cover up this stuff here so you don't. All right, but I can then, I can just email myself, and I can just say files, and then I'm going to attach, browse this computer because I'm in the virtual computer still. Say, okay, I'm going to attach all those files. Okay, they're attached, and then I'm just going to hit send. And then in a second, I just sent myself an email, and it's got all 12 of those files. And so now I can be on any computer, and I can download those files that way as well. So those are just some, kind of tips and tricks here for using Apporto. So let me close out. Oh, I just closed out of Apporto. I just did the wrong thing here. Let me connect back to Apporto. It'll probably bring up exactly what I had. Hopefully it didn't kill everything. Ah! It killed everything. It killed me as I had launched this. Well, I'm going to launch it again. I'm going to pause the recording again. All right, so it finally launched here for me. And so I want to go to the showing again with the user preferences. I know some people have been having troubles with this. And I'm saying here, let's go to the pass library. And then let's go to pad path. And I have C cadence pad text. It actually apparently saved it from last time I did that. I'm going to go ahead and delete that as well. And I'm going to go ahead and just do a location and just go to, see if it goes to documents, pad stacks. And so now it's going through it's going through a different way. So I'm going to hit OK on that, as opposed to going the U-drive method. And then I'm going to do a whole new and just do and you can see that it's again showing the pad stacks that are in that directory. So that's another way that if you're still having problems getting the U drive to work, that's another way you can actually try and get the pad stacks to be working on the Apporto system. Okay, so as I said, it's going to be a series of videos that I'm going to kind of be discussing several different things on here. And so you'll see another one here in a little bit on some other topics.